Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Batman Arkham Knight New Game Plus video walkthrough. This is the death of my Batman walkthrough. Sounds very profound, doesn't it? And melodramatic, but it's true. At the end of this video, you're going to see what the rest of the videos in this walkthrough look like, and you're going to understand why I can't share them with you, and why I was incredibly frustrated when I started this recording, or when I started the commentary for this series. All we're doing here, folks, is we're controlling the Bat Tank via the gadget, the remote control Bat, Batmobile thing, and we're going to be taking out the tanks. Because we're in the command room, in that crazy building site, and we're going to be doing this so that we can get this to shoot the turrets. But before we do that, we have to kill a bunch of the Founder Island Cobras. The Cobras are very simple. When they're red, they're moving towards the area where you just were when you killed their friend. When they're orange, they're looking around for you. And then you just have to get behind them and kill them. And I mentioned in the previous video, I think this would work better if you could just shoot the thing on the back of them and they died rather than having to build it up. I think it would just make it more intuitive, and it would allow good players to get past these sections in seconds rather than minutes. As I get spotted here, and the camera pulls out, which I hate. Another one of those weird stylistic choices that makes driving a lot more difficult than it needs to be in a game where the tank already, without your permission, goes on its own wishy-washy swimmy bullshit path sometimes. But it must be said, folks, I think the tank handles and the car incredibly well, all considered. It does have those moments where it fishtails and you're not quite sure why, and it's really tricky to control it and you end up getting screwed, but for every other instance it's really, really, really on your side. But that is all the Cobras dead, so we're going to move up now. We're going to do a little bit of environmental puzzling, and we're going to kill the big turret.
Time to take out the missile launcher,
as Batman's just said. So I really like the utilization of the tank in these moments where you're kind of combining with Batman to do things in, you know, the current line of the story. I think there's a little bit too much of this, pulling things up and ramping. Then you swap back to Batman, then you do a fear takedown and you attack the Arkham Knight. A little bit of advice there, do not go after the guy, go after the medic. If you can get rid of the medic on the fear takedown, it'll make the fight that's coming up in a moment just a little simpler. Of course, it's not a hard fight, it's just it's got a heavy, and the heavy is an asshole. So, if you're going for score, you want to beat down the heavy. If you're going to get rid of him, which you should be, you want to do whatever you can, i.e. environmental takedown. Quickest way to kill him. So good. And during the animation, you can attack people. So at the end of that, whatever you press, Batman will do, even though the camera isn't quick enough to follow you. It can sometimes lead to dropping your combo or putting yourself in a bad spot, but it is cool, so I'm okay with it. The electric guy then, that's just romped me, if you do the back claw and you pull them towards you, they will lose the electricity on their body. Sometimes when you shoot them with the rec gun, it can sometimes get rid of it, but I've had moments where it didn't, so I'm just going to go with the back claw thing. And the good thing to know is you do not have to do any counter after the back claw. Look at these medics, by the way. They're having a nightmare here. They're just electrifying everybody. And at this time, I still wasn't entirely sure how to get the electricity off them, so I was just killing them with takedowns, like I normally do with an enemy I don't like. But if you watch, I'm going to try and do it here. See that? I swear to whatever deity I wish you didn't believe in, I pressed towards the dude who was electrified, and Batman did the guy next to him. And it's moments like that where it's such a slight thing, isn't it? Somebody watching this without my words on it wouldn't have paid any attention. They'd just been like, yeah, it does a takedown, kills people, nice, cool, Batman. But to me, no. At that moment in time, I was probably quite pissed off. Because that's not what I wanted, but it's what I got. And it's one of those things where I can't push the analog any more precisely towards that guy. There was a definitive angle difference, yet Batman just, whoop, got that other guy. And I find that to be really frustrating. But it's one of those things that it's got to be my fault, because the game is doing its best to keep up with what I'm telling it, and apparently I just didn't tell it right. I don't know. But there's the fight. Very simple, guys. You shouldn't have any issue with that. And if you do, just upgrade a little bit. I'm doing this all with basic life, and it's very manageable, folks, I'm telling you. But that lowers the ramps so that we can now do the environmental puzzling with the Batmobile, and we can destroy this turret. So pull the ramp back until it stops. If you pull it back and it doesn't fully stop like that, you won't get a high enough ramp to get across. Also, if you look up here to my right, there is a Riddler Trophy hidden behind a wall. It's one of those crazy follow the stupid question marks with that throbbing, stupid sonar thing. A trick here, to my left, you see where that yellow scaffold is? If you sit behind the yellow scaffold, he cannot hit you with those ground missiles, and all you have to do is shoot him and hit him with the cannons. You will never get touched. I just literally did that earlier today. So, yeah, strategy there could have been a bit better. Shame on me. But now we're back as Batman. He's on his android, contacting Alfred. And now we're going to go to the clock tower.
Okay, now we're done playing soldiers. Let's have some real fun.
So Joker's berating us as normal. At this point, I'm still... you see, I wasn't apparently paying attention then, because I couldn't tell where the game wanted me to go. So have you noticed how I went in a circle to wait for the waypoint, but there was no waypoint? And now I've just gone into the missions to put the waypoint on. That is a mild criticism of mine, because the game is constantly wanting you to do the other stuff. It doesn't assume you want to do the main mission, so it takes it away and it allows you to choose what you want. On one side, I think this is a good design, because it stops people from rushing through the game and not realising there's other things. On the flip side, I think it's kind of frustrating for somebody that just doesn't want to keep going in the menu. So, it's one of those double-sided mechanics, which has both merits and faults. But once you're in here, you want to go over to the bust, press the button, the Bat computer is going to come up, or the Oracle computer, whatever you call it. And then we're going to be going to Panessa Studios again, because Harley Quinn is going to be taking over there. And we're going to be moving into the latter half of the game, and my favourite area of the game. But there is a photo which is also a riddle, I believe, of, is it Tim and Barbara, otherwise known as Batgirl and Robin, the third Robin, which, this is how much of a Batman fan I am when it comes to the official story in the comic. I didn't realise there was another Batman, another Robin. I thought it was just Dick Grayson, and then he got old, and then became and became Nightwing. I did not realise there was another Robin who wasn't Robin. I had no idea. I know, sacrilegious, isn't it? Just, I guess I've never really read Batman comics. I was an animated series guy and a Michael Keaton dude. Like, I loved Batman, but comics were something you never really got around my end when I was younger. You never really had the money to get them, if you could even find them. And I'll never forget, I got an X-Men comic, and it was a cherished possession for an eternity, but I could never find another one. I checked every store. It was one of those places where finding comics when you were a kid, you know, like in the early 90s, was just impossible in my area. So it wasn't something I was able to really do, but animated series and sticker books, dude. My Batman animated series sticker book was lethal. Loved that. But here is Harlequin Sequence coming up. I love this. My favourite aspect of this game is some of the stuff you can do with that gun I just used. For instance, the guy I just knocked out then, which I shouldn't have knocked out because his gun was going to blow up and maybe knock out some people. I turned the guns off basically, but if there's an area where people can find guns, you can make it blow up. For instance, you see the generator just north of me here? You can probably hack that and make that blow up. There's so many things you can do with the new mechanics. It's really, really good, and it gives it a lot of diversity to set up these traps before you've even started fighting. As I pick up a baseball bat because I love the bat. I love how it changes the animations as well. It's so clever. I wish there was more weapons to pick up, because there's just something cool about new animations. I'm a big fan of watching Batman do awesome things. And once that is done, you're going to go over to the door here. It's not going to work because, of course, things have hit the fan. And then there's going to be one of the more difficult Predator sequences in the game.
Open.
So there's the voice print failure. This is also going to be the area where you would get the voice synthesizer as well. And the voice synthesizer is so overpowered, dude. It's gloriously good. And if you're having troubles finding Riddler trophies with the Riddler robots and the electrified floors and you can't figure out what's going on, it wants you to use the voice synthesizer. For some reason, it took me the longest to figure that out. I would see those robots, I would see those electric floors, I would try and use the bat line, I would try and use, you know, the controllable bat, And I'm like, what are you meant to do here? I'm not thinking right about it. And then it just clicked. I'm like, good God, I'm so stupid. But here is a voice matching sequence. This might take a little while because I didn't have volume on my TV at the time, so I was doing it plainly off of the moving wave line. So there you go. But I did get it. I was quite happy with that. I don't think you can get anything less than 100%. I think you either get wrong and right. I think there's no like 87% close.
Use the voice synthesizer to mimic Harley's voice.
Could be wrong though. But when you hit this door, it's going to trigger a cutscene, I think.
Something must have happened.
Yeah, well, it's not a cutscene technically. It's in engine. And now it's the cutscene. So this is it. This is really tricky. There is 11 people on this roof. The good news is, if you've done the Predator challenge, there's like 20 dudes on this roof. So if you're used to that challenge with the invisible guys and the heavies everywhere, then this will be absolutely easy to you. And if you're like me and you have trouble getting the achievement for all the Predator takedowns, even though you did all of them numerous times, then you're going to be replaying these challenges a lot to try and get it to pop. And hopefully it'll just make you a better Batman player. But the thing I like most about Predator sequences in Arkham games is that you can approach them in any way you want. You have all these gadgets, you have all these opportunities to ambush people, and it's really a show of your playstyle in how you do things. And watching everybody do things differently is really cool, especially when you see somebody do something that's so different to how you play. They're like, that's really cool. I'll never do it, and I never want to, but I'm glad somebody else did. I really appreciate that. Even though, you know, some of the strategies are quite universal, a lot of people doing similar things. But lots of sneaking, lots of Batman. So, after this walkthrough is up, I'm going to be doing a playthrough for Virgil on Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition on the Xbox One. I'm currently on Chapter 8, or Mission 8. I started playing it the other night. It's going to be interesting because I'm not very good with Virgil. I don't have any of his moves yet, and hopefully when I do get them, it'll be a bit more entertaining to watch. But I'm just going to kind of do some live impressions / a playthrough. And I'm going to watch the cutscenes as well, because I haven't watched the cutscenes on Devil May Cry 4 since the original game. The first week of the original game. It's been a real long time since I've remembered who that tanned lady with the camel toe is, and all those other people that turned up and I cared very little for. But, oh, that Kyrie, oh no, Kyrie, or whatever that stupid woman's name is that I hate. But it's going to be fun, hopefully. And it's going to be weird too, because I have a lot of understanding of that game and a lot of knowledge, but it doesn't really translate when I'm using Virgil. So I've been managing to get S ranks on my first run through with no abilities, but it's not been clean. So if you're going to that expecting high level Virgil play, you aren't going to get it. But what you are going to get is hopefully a lot of fun, because it's kind of silly, some of the stuff that's been happening so far. Like, I jump cancelled off of Bale. It was so good. I was jump cancelling his crystal the entire fight. He couldn't do a thing. It was wonderful. Even though I do find jump cancelling on that game to be quite tricky. But same with Echidna, I was doing a Stinger Bee jump cancels off her, and when she started whipping her hair, I would teleport away, I'd teleport back in, jump cancel, jump cancel, jump cancel, jump cancel, and you get no style points. It's like the death of style points, but God does it feel good, because it reminds me of Devil May Cry 3, and it reminds me of what I love, which was, you know, some of those ways of circumventing the astronomical HP of Dante Must Die. But I think the playthrough is going to be Legendary Dark Knight, because I've never played it. I just know that it's ridiculous, and that will add to the... Oh, here we are! This is it, guys. You see this? This is what happened to my footage. So, as you can see, there's no sound. This is a fight from way ahead of where we are, because we've not even finished that Predator moment, but for some reason it's doing this. And look at my combo, I'm beasting. This is the gameplay you denied of me beasting. Beasting a big room of dudes. 49 combo, and then I dropped it. There's Robin. There's a bit of an interrogation, and then we're moving, and then we're teleporting, and then we're forward, and then we're backwards, and then we're forwards, and then we're backwards. Now I'm Robin. Now I'm not Robin. Now we're fighting. Now we're not fighting. Now there's Robin again. There's a big machine gun. There's a big gargoyle moment, and this is how every video from here looks like. And these were all 30 to 40 minute videos. There's about 7 of them, and they're all 3 minutes long, and they look like this. So, if anybody has any idea what this is, if you're an Elgato fanboy and you know something, there's me fucking something up there, a rare mistake. Another rare mistake. But this is why this walkthrough is not already on YouTube, if you're wondering. But thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in the live installments. You take care now.